Abüséd at the bar a POG media. So now POG the moment you says the tenacity and just on my Ghana. Political stories nibi and I yes yen sa kan yede ede baba be so said the be on my Ghana yes be updated about on Ghana. Amanyon semu headlines and topics and then the enso body wearing say and then enso the chair ECOWAS in along the week update to be and so about the fire talk on a case on also edible edible my catches on also compare and was almost kept man on say yes I'm finding back as the CJ also it's me boss a case in the year and my wonderful for S2 also say a brand at every CJ office one abuse a writer or this a human rights case and so down a ECOWAS for now winner case nechi or so Eddie atoa so Eddie appeal so the ama ECOWAS say or so here 10 million compensation wo kwan a no so hu ne say abusing the right emphasize no enfambo enfam so na when na amafo di ho nkomo na che say yenso yakada story a ye de eba so mabusua beje be ne abo Eddie rasansi with us
that the country should wait for her when the process has ended and the conclusion has come in that this is it, she's gone, the president has assented, we should wait for her. The country should wait for until Esaba. Because of what? I mean, I don't understand it all. So we shouldn't have a chief justice, we should have an acting chief justice whose jurisdiction maybe cannot go beyond certain cases because the person is acting. Wait for until Zaba. I mean, how? I don't understand what Kofi is talking about. Maybe that's Kofi's client, so he has to get his fees. But seriously, this one, it is not tenable. That the country is bigger than any human being therein. Do you get me? So as long as this country is bigger than any human being, and more important than any human being therein, when it comes to Ghana, the country called Ghana and its people, they are more important than any one single human being.
Let me get your thoughts, Madam Hajia Amenu.
Yes. Greetings to everybody, especially Honorable Chief Alan Chemantin. Happy birthday to Honorable Hopes in Addo. Today is his birthday.
Yes, wow, happy birthday.
Addo. Yes. Commander One, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
So my comment on this issue is very, very, very simple. I think this issue, just like my mommy was saying, should be done with by now. And she should realize that it's all over. Somebody has been appointed and she's been replaced. Yes, it's her human rights. From the beginning, I gave her applause saying that she was very brave, fighting for her human rights. And we as women are supporting her. But yes, it's been done with. So I think she should allow bygones to be bygones and then move on. And there is more work to be done. Once there's someone who has been appointed, and we are all looking at our system, our judicial system in Ghana. We are looking up to the newly appointed, and he has served the country very well for so many years, 17 years. I think that President John Dramani Mahama has done so well.
Well, 17 years at the bar,
yes.
At the Supreme Court, but more than that.
Yes, at the Supreme Court.
He's done his time.
Yes, it's now his time.
And he has been maltreated.
And he didn't go to human rights.
He didn't go to human rights.
If she can finish with the point,
and he
then I'll come to you.
Nana wants to capture it. Okay.
No, sorry.
So he's really done well. And I think it's his time, 1 year to prove himself. And then 1 year that Ghanaians are all expecting him to deliver. We look at our judicial system going down. Ghanaians are losing hope in justice system nowadays. If you look at all the research that are coming up now, you realize that we are looking up to so many things. How can somebody be in Ghana here and will still maybe a goods, a phone, and will have so many years, whilst people at the higher tables are being given pardons here and there? So we are looking up to him doing greater things for us. I think our sisters should just drink water and rest for now, and we'll always acknowledge her in history. But the battle or the road has ended. from what we are all seeing, the road has ended for her.
But
so
the ECOWAS court is still waiting to look into the human rights issues that she submitted as well.
Yes, everybody has human rights. Everyone here has the right to a certain extent. So yes, she may be looking for $10
million or 10 million cedis.
It's not small money.
A number
so
of
yes,
cash. I mean, to the daughter, the husband.
Yes, so she
money
maybe
to them.
No, compensation.
Compensation.
Oh,
yes.
okay. I thought you meant
Compensation.
what? Okay.
No, yes, the compensation is maybe what she's fighting for.
Cedis?
What she asked for?
$10 million.
It was dollars.
Oh, I thought that our bank governor says we shouldn't say anything in dollars.
In dollars.
And she could
she prefers the dollars. That would make the money a little bit small. If it's Ghana cedis, it will look huge. So she's fighting for that, maybe. So she has every right to go fight for. But in Ghana, we will not forget her. She's still in history. She will be remembered. But at least she should allow things to slide. Since there is a new Chief Justice who has been appointed, and it's the end for her. So the back and forth, yes, we will look into it. Government has 30 days, Nanaya, more 30 days to come out, and then everything will be settled. So,
Gloria, we remember her for the law is the law with her squeamish face. That one will always remember her with that squeamish face. The law is the law.
Madam Susan Amankwa, perhaps I should get your final word on this, and even your expectations as the ECOWAS court considers the human rights issues before it. To dismiss the request filed at that court by the former Chief Justice Gertrude Arbe-Saba-Tokonu for the court to aid her in halting the process to remove her from office. And what the court said, the reasons behind the dismissal of her application, will be going into all of that. We'll also be looking into the special prosecutor's explanation regarding why Ken Ofori-Atta, former finance minister, has been removed from the red alert of Interpol, and what that means for the case. We'll be getting some legal understanding of these two cases. But let me tell you that we're privileged to have on the panel with us Madam Rodelyn Imurayana, our regular panelist, who is a public interest advocate. Ma'am, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay. Of course, we will also be joined by Nanaya Echampim Jantwa, who is a presidential staffer. We'll be joined by Madam Susan Amankwa, who's joining us very shortly, Hajia Gloria Menu of the United Party, as well as Mr. Kofi Bento, lawyer, who will be joining us for a video call to delve into the legal implications of these issues, the dismissal of the case by ECOWAS court, as well as the special prosecutor and Ken Ofori-Atta and issues surrounding that. But let me bring you the video of the courts reading out the reasons behind the dismissal of Gertrude Tokonu's case.
The court hereby declares that the application for revision of judgment number ECW/CCJ/JUD/44/23 delivered on the 24th of November 2023 is inadmissible. And for that reason, sitting in public, the court declares that it has jurisdiction to determine this case. However, declares the application is inadmissible.
Words of the judge there at the ECOWAS court. But of course, the state, as in Ghana, was represented by the Deputy Attorney General, Justice Remsai. And let me just bring you some of the things he told us as he posted on his social media. I said the ECOWAS court has this morning dismissed Mrs. Justice Gertrude Tokonu's application for interim measures. The court stated that the application did not satisfy the criteria for a grant of interim measures. More particularly, the court held that the applicant's own conduct defeats her claim of imminent and irreparable harm. The court is therefore satisfied that the applicant has not demonstrated the existence of imminent or exceptional circumstance that will justify the urgency of the application filed almost 3 months after the act complained of. the Deputy Attorney General says, in the light of the applicant's failure to meet the requirement of urgency, that's quoting what the court said, the court finds no basis to assess the remaining criteria for provisional measures, same being cumulative. The request for provisional measures as outlined by the applicant, same, not substantiated, is therefore dismissed. So Justice Shremside there giving us details of what the court said, and like I did tell you, we'll be delving into that as well. But yes, let me perhaps get the preliminary thought of my panel members, and let me start with you, Madam Rodlin Imora-Ayana. I mean, you've been commenting on this case since it started. I remember when she filed at the ECOWAS court in July this year, your comment earlier, and now, months down the line, the ECOWAS court says, in summary, there's no merit in your case, and so we're dismissing that.
Good morning to our cherished viewers, and good morning to us beautiful women here.
Good morning.
I didn't expect anything different from what the ECOWAS court said, because even though I'm not a lawyer, nor a judge, I didn't think she had any case. I mean, once we are a sovereign state, once she had been given an opportunity to meet with a group that came out with a report that the president accepted and asked her to leave, I felt that that should have been the end of story. But it seems Madam Tokonu was not happy with it. I hope that after this, she will take a bow. She will accept her fate. And even though lawyers are telling us that it's one of the things that is to be expected, and that it would let us learn a few more stuff, you know, about the judicial system and all that, I still believe that it is doing her more harm than good. Those who are encouraging her to continuously go to court, may be doing so with a view that maybe there are certain aspects of the law that they think.
And also ebobo free ECOWAS akache by TV3 studios and at say ya jantua and ada panelist also tena say TV3 studio margin two far media and I share the song subscribers to POG Media and the book also have a job subscription now was share off for so and so it's me akajumedi bi na almost on the echo and the air but me so click the notification bell no say the on me a daily update ni na about me so abo the comment section on also wait me edin komo and as what share what the afajumedi say the be ajumedi and so e bit me ayenika.
We still need to know, but I think that it is not doing good for her as a person, because somehow it then comes out as if she's a bad loser, and that is not a good thing to have placed on you. So I think that the ECOWAS court has spoken the minds of many Ghanaians that there was really no reason for all this. But I do understand her. The only problem I have with this is that I know that Araba Tokonu, I think she had accepted the fact that she was no longer CJ, but she felt that she needed to still be a Supreme Court judge. That is where
she requested for that later.
Okay. So now we know that there was no need for the minority to even ask that they stay activities in Parliament until this ECOWAS pronouncement comes and other court cases that she has filed.
They only felt that for fairness case, at least suspend the process.
Well, for fairness, that's what I'm saying. But the CJ was not one of her things. She just wants to be a Supreme Court judge. Yeah. And there was a difference between the CJ and the Supreme Court judge. So I'm just saying that now we know that there was no need for that. I have also said that I still think that being CJ, she cannot go back again to being a Supreme Court judge. So she just has to take it. I think we have gone round the circle so many times that it's now a broken record. scratches everywhere. You know, you continue to say the same things, and it's like the next day you have another issue coming up, and it's the same thing. I don't know when she thinks she's going to get a different answer. Now we are going for human rights.
Exactly, because the court still says that what the human rights issues still fall within its jurisdiction.
Yeah, so the human rights. The first one, she claims that she was not given an opportunity to defend herself, or probably she didn't have the full details. Well, from where I sit, I've read over and over again, and it seems she did have that opportunity. And then also, she wanted us to have made it public, the hearing public. And our constitution says it should be held in camera. So that also, it was a no-no. Then the other one, she wanting to probably be taken back to the Supreme Court, and also to be given her entitlements. I also find that rather strange, because we all advise that the best she could have done for herself was to have resigned so that she could go for her entitlements maybe. And if for nothing at all, you would be a better person in the face of the new government.
In fact, that was a point you made earlier, that she should have resigned so she could have access to her entitlements.
To her entitlements, but she rejected it. And lawyers told us that it wasn't the right thing to do. She had to go the full haul. And she's practically going the full. I don't know whether she's going to go to ICC or where, I don't know. But as it stands now, I would want to hear what Mr. Bento has to say on this.
Indeed, and he's actually joined us on the phone, and so we're going to him now. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you very much for joining us on the program.
Good morning.
Mr. Bento, I'm sure you heard the preliminary thought of Madam Ayana there. Is this decision of the court really not a confirmation of what critics had earlier said, that perhaps Madam Kutokonu had no reason to go to as far as the ECOWAS court with that case?
No, it is not. I wish I had the benefit of the full judgment. That sometimes cases are dismissed on a technicality, not on merit. And in this particular case, there is a suggestion that it wasn't dealt with on its merit. There is a mention of the issue of time when it was filed, a couple of things which suggest to me that not everything regarding the merit was gone into. But that is also not even the matter. For some of us, we have consistently maintained that the important thing is to allow the justice system to conclude its work before you overreach it. The reason why that is important is this. Literally, if you go to court against your adversary, and your adversary, let's say, is the government, and they have some powers, and they overreach the court, even if they win, their win is tainted, because win or lose, they took the steps they took without reference to the court. They did not respect the court. These fundamental things, some of which we call natural justice, okay, are crucial in a republic under law. All I have been saying is that to the extent that there are existing cases that have not been dealt with, the state must show that it has reference for the court system. When you overreach the court the way they did, you say, we don't care what happens with the courts. Whether it goes left or right, we are proceeding to do what we want to do. Now, that kind of attitude is wrong. And finally, let me tell you something. If you go through law school, some of the cases you study are these kinds of cases. When you see about Akuffo today, it has to do with the excesses of government, the overreach of government, bad judgment, bad reasoning, things that fly in the face of common sense sometimes. But then at the time, people with power pull through. So the fact that you won today does not mean prosperity will guide you kindly. I personally am still thinking that all of this affects Justice Bawumia's assent to the Supreme Court as a Chief Justice. But the truth of the matter is that if it was allowed to be exhausted, we will all be better off who has these comments. I assure you that this case will be studied by law students in future. And not every commentary about it will be favorable to the person who won.
Mr. Bento, I understand from your submission that you do not think the justice system in Ghana is fair enough.
I didn't say that. I'm part of that system.
But you're saying that already her basic or natural rights were breached when the state decided to go ahead with the case without respecting the court cases that were already pending.
Yes, I said if somebody has a case in court and you choose to overreach the court, you will be breaching some of the person's rights. Yes. So that's what it is. But that does not mean the justice system in Ghana is done or whatever.
And still made a point that those with power are able to pull through. You don't think that's an indirect way of saying that the system favors those who are powerful and not necessarily fair?
When you talk about the system, you need to define it better. Those in power have overreached the legal system. I have said that, I repeat it. It does not mean the justice system is not good. Those in power tend to do these things. Litigants or parties in a court case usually will use whatever advantage is before them. That's why we have things like injunctions, etc. And in this case, the person who was involved is the government, and they can do certain things, and they proceeded to do it. The point that I'm trying to make is that there are two types of justice in every case: procedural justice and substantive justice. The process by which justice is delivered is as important as the justice that is delivered by itself. Which is why I said, if you do not respect the process, but you even win in the end, your win is tainted. And in certain cases, even if you are the guilty party, if the process is not going through, for instance, the natural justice rules, that guilt cannot be established, even beyond reasonable doubt. Okay, so I'm saying that, look, those of us who have the benefit of lawsuit, this is what we said. And one day, this case will be said. And not every pronouncement will be favorable to the person who won. So my call is that when we have these situations, let's let the justice system run its full course. That's it.
So that could be your understanding and perhaps conclusions on what happened in Ghana. But let's go to the ECOWAS court where Madam Gertrude Tokonu eventually went to. You're saying that listening perhaps and reading the bits about what the court said, you do not think that they might have necessarily dismissed the case based on merit. But if you look at a part of what the court said, it said that the applicant's own conduct defeats her claim of imminent and irreparable harm. You don't think that that also fits to the merit of the case, which is why they dismissed it?
What conduct were they referring to? Are you aware of the conduct they were referring to?
I think that we've been talking about it, the press conferences, all of those things, although I'm not in the mind of the court, and of course I'm still yet to have the full complement of the judgment. I don't think you're sure of the conduct
they are talking about. Okay? So, like I said, if I read the full judgment, I'll get a sense of it. But I think, or I get the sense, or I get the impression that this was not ruled entirely on merit. That's the point I'm making. Now, if you can tell me the conduct they are talking about, then we can tell whether it was ruled on merit or not. But sometimes conduct action, even the time that you file, okay, can have an effect. And if it is ruled based on some of those things, then it's not ruled on merit. It is ruled because maybe there was some process errors or whatever.
You cannot also, Mr. Bento, you cannot also be fully sure that the conduct the court put in this judgment is because of time.
But that's the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that I am not sure whether it was ruled on merit or it was ruled on, just technicality. So, but for me, the outcome is not the issue. I've been saying that from the beginning. It's the procedural justice. The fact that when you're in court with somebody over something which is perishable over time, you don't go ahead and overreach the court by perishing it or killing it or spoiling it. We all have to respect the system, the process, whether you are the government or not.
And I'll come back to you, Mr. Bento, but we do have with us in studio as well, Madam Susan Aduamankwa. Let me get your preliminary thoughts.
That's it. So coming home, I bought Eddie Media, the POG Media, about Ghana authentic political stories and the headlines. The updates it happened on Sabbath me a cabin house who the echo and the air banner over my Ghana political space in the wait me so about the comment section or announce with me Eddie Komona mistress. So subscribe here. On your pro subscription, like the notification bell, no that is on subscribe to me. I daily updates in the now about the comment section on also with me Eddie Komo.